Beautiful. So, welcome everybody to our webinar. This is the September webinar, and today we're going to feature Carl Kwan, who you've probably all encountered one way or the other through Powtoon or not. He tends to be somewhat of a celebrity, and every time, sort of a personal thing, every time I mention his name, people tell me, "Oh, that's that guy with the presentations. He's so cool. I love his videos." And asked Carl to do this webinar for us because Carl really specializes in creating presentations and how to sequence them, how to lay them out, and he has some fantastic video tips. And so what Carl came up with as an idea today is how to taking some of your videos that he's seen and trying to just work with real life videos and showing you and giving you tips that are relevant and real life, not just sort of general and theoretical. So I'm going to hand it over to Carl. We are going to try and record this and hopefully it'll work out. And I'm going to swap presenters here. It'll take me 1 second.
All right. Hello? Can anybody hear me out there? Oh, there we go. Okay. Wow. Okay. Can you hear me clearly, first of all? Is it okay? The sound is okay? Great. This is fantastic. Hi from Italy. Well, hi from Seoul.
Carl, can you hear me?
Daniel. I can hear you. Fantastic. Yeah.
Fantastic. So here and there, I might ask you some questions, but I'm going to let you just roam with this, and feel free to chime back if you want something from me. But I'm just going to let you lead the way.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, let me just make sure I'm looking at the same screen here. So, okay, well, thank you first of all for everyone just being here. Thank you to Daniel and everyone at Powtoon for setting this entire webinar up. It was very exciting when Daniel first approached me about this because I thought, well, what are people really interested in doing with their Powtoon? Because of my background as a presentations consultant, I've always had that kind of interest in, messaging and how do people present themselves, and especially for your business. And I want to say that, it's fantastic that you're all here because it tells me that you care, that you want to be successful, and that you're being proactive and you're having the courage actually to share your video and get it critiqued by, some guy sitting halfway around the world at 4 a.m. Who just woke up an hour ago to get some feedback for your videos. Now, one thing is, it's great that you weren't shy about this because ultimately, if you want your customers or your clients or your students or whoever it is that you want to see these videos, you can't be shy about it. And, people that have submitted the videos, I think we've got about, 18 or 20 videos, I think, up to. It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. So just thank you very much. Now, the one thing I want to tell you is that this video that you have of you, especially if you are a business owner, for teachers, I think it's less of this effect. But if you are a business owner, if you work at a company, whatever, your presentation, your video is a representation of you and your business. It is exactly like if you were to stand in front of somebody and give a presentation, except I believe it is far more challenging because you can't adjust on the fly when you give a presentation and you think, oh, this isn't going the way I want it to. You can make adjustments, on the fly as you're doing the presentation. But in this case, when you make a video, you put it out there, that's it. When people see it, whatever impression they get or whatever is the message you put out there, maybe it's right, it's wrong, you can't fix it right away. And you don't know either if people liked it or not, if they responded to it positively or not. I guess the same can be said for educators as well. If that's your situation, your students may not just be interested in what you're teaching them. They might, it might have the same effect as when you normally teach them, which hopefully is good. But in any case, sometimes it's not as good as you want. So the other thing I want to mention is that it's not my intention to rip apart your videos for the sake of being critical. My main intention is to be as helpful as I can and kind of point out where your video's weaknesses might be, and especially in terms of getting your message across to your particular audience. Because if your audience doesn't get your message and doesn't take the action you want them to take, the video failed. You basically, spent a lot of time making a video. It didn't have any positive effect for you. And like I said, it's just like a presentation, or if you're in business of any type, that it's going to be like any type of advertising or marketing that you do. It's so important and critical. So what I want to do is, like I said, I want to go over all of these videos, and unfortunately, I realized that within an hour, I'm not going to be able to cover every single video. So I'm going to kind of go in the order that they were received and try and get through as many as I can. I've made some notes here about most of the videos, and I've also made some notes about the overall things that I've noticed that are common amongst pretty much all the videos. Some of them are really fantastic and required very little feedback, but some of the common things that I wanted to kind of talk about, I'm going to go through that first. And then the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the videos that I'll try and get through as many as I can. And then I'm going to answer some of the questions or requests for information that people had asked for, things that people wanted to learn. I put the question up onto the blog, on the Powtoon blog, and got a couple of responses there, so I want to address that as well. So I guess I can begin now. As far as overall things that I have noticed, one of the first things that I have noticed is that the background that many people have used is oftentimes not a good match for what it is you're trying to do, or for your business, or for your company. Now, as an example, the most business videos, in my own opinion, this is just my opinion, but I think most business videos should try to keep as clean of a background as possible. You can use some of those scenes and things like that. Those are fine. But the one that kind of, I guess, I don't think, but a little bit, I look at the crumpled paper background, and I think, if that is your business, what is it really telling people? Is it telling people that you are very professional, that I can trust you, that I can buy from you, or whatever? Or is it telling them that you're kind of messy and unorganized? It's, if you're educated and you have a younger audience, I think that's fine because they're used to that. But if it were Saskatchewan, oh great, Saskatchewan, wow, we've got some fellow Canadians on the scene too, great. Oh, from Ontario, oh good, we've got people from Windsor, I think it was from Eric or other people, and people from Niagara, and Andre in Niagara College there. Anyway, so the things that you really have to be careful of, number one, is the background that you use has to be a good match to your product, to your service, to your industry, whatever it might be. And I would say that if you have a business like I mentioned earlier, it's probably a good idea to avoid the crumpled paper look. People are asking, should there be audio? So you might want to get that checked. The other thing that I noticed, second thing that I noticed that was very interesting, that was common amongst most of them, was that there was no voiceover. And for me, I guess just being a voice actor in my spare time here in Korea, well, not just that, I do quite a bit of it, but being a voice actor here and seeing how voice is used so powerfully, and also just as humans, we, most of the time we communicate by talking to each other. I think that people definitely will prefer hearing something from you and not just reading it on the screen. One thing, excuse me there, it's early. In any case, they may prefer to read it, that's fine, because some people like to read, and some people like to listen, and some people like to just watch or whatever. But I think that when you do add a voiceover, what happens is that it gives your video a more human feeling. People can actually now connect with the person on the other end. There's two guys that put up some videos here. It was Eric and I believe it was Ryan, and they both had a voiceover, and immediately it's made such an impact because of all the ones that didn't have a voiceover. And then suddenly I saw these two with a voiceover, and they were so much more powerful because of that. Now, I think Ryan was saying, I think he did the voiceover himself. I'm not sure if Eric did it himself, but Ryan did it himself, and now saying that he could be a voice actor. I mean, the voice was perfect. It doesn't have to be the radio sounding guy. It doesn't have to be someone who sounds even like me or whatever. People kind of like radio sounding voice. It's fine to have even your own voice for your videos. It just takes a bit of practice, and if you want to learn some more tips about how to record audio from home, even just using your smartphone or something, please let me know, and I'll answer that as well if I have time at the end here. The third thing, that was voiceovers. I've covered backgrounds, I've covered voiceovers, and now the third thing I want to cover is something that I mentioned in one of the videos that I made on Powtoon, the series of videos that I made about presentation design, and specifically about the concept of CRAP, the capital letters C-R-A-P, which stand for contrast, repetition, alignment, and proximity. When I look at your videos, the one thing that is very evident is that, well, not very evident, I guess in some cases better, but the concept of these presentation design concepts, or their general design concepts of contrast, repetition, alignment, and proximity. What they will do is they will help you create a much more professional look. They'll help you get your message to be seen better. Because when you're using video, a lot of it is show, don't tell. It's a lot about just let people kind of, I don't want to say they'll figure it out, but they should be able to get what you're trying to say. They should be able to understand at least what you're trying to say by just looking at it visually, because that's how we as people receive messages and understand things as well, is we see them and we kind of perceive what you're trying to tell us. And so as an example, contrast is obviously the difference between things. But one of the things that you can do, for example, with contrast is use it to convey emotion. And that's what I tend to do a lot in my videos. You'll notice that I have a lot of zoomed in, larger shots of people, their faces, even if it's just the picto basic, black outline character that's in Powtoon. Whenever I want to show any kind of emotion, I zoom in onto that person's, no featureless face with just a smile, or if he's upset or whatever, or he or she is upset or laughing. I'll zoom in on that and I'll highlight that kind of that point. This also comes from if you watch movies and TV shows, whenever those kind of films or TV programs want to convey emotion, you'll notice that the shots always move in close to the people. It'll either be a headshot, it'll be their face or something like that. But that's how emotion is conveyed. It's through the eyes and through the face and through that sort of close-up look. So that's something to do with contrast that you can definitely use. Repetition, the second concept of CRAP, repetition, has a lot to do with just keeping consistency throughout your entire video. Now, I noticed that some of the videos, the fonts may change, the style of the characters may change. So some of these things will happen. And I think that kind of is distracting for people because there's no consistency. Again, from a psychological presentation perspective, we like to see things that are the same, to remain consistent. And that way we're not kind of jarred from our experience so much. We can just kind of enjoy the show that we're watching. So that would be repetition. That's how you guys can use repetition in a better way. Alignment is the third concept, and this one here is just saying just keep things lined up as much as possible so that there is, again, visual consistency throughout your entire video. You can have a look at some of mine and see. Did Daniel, you want to talk to me or something?
Carl, can I just I don't know if this is by design or not, but we only see a static screen posted on our blog. So it's just... Okay,
so can you see something now?
Yeah, okay, we see it moving. Great. So I just want to make sure that wasn't an error, that you weren't missing stuff.
No, it's working. It's working. I just wanted to kind of talk first. So anyway, thank you for that, by the way. Yeah, so it is working. Don't worry. You guys are all here. All the videos were submitted, except for Bess's, which I couldn't see still. So that's yours there. So anyway, yeah, so that's pretty much alignment. And the final one is proximity. So if you guys want to show things that have relationships with each other, with the person, someone else, or they're interacting with something, or even if it's text that comes together with one of the characters or whatever, if they are related, please put them closer together, because then that tells us that there is a relationship. Okay? Okay, so we've got someone telling me to get to the point. All right, thank you. Okay, so are we, how are we doing for time here? Okay, so pretty much that is my main things. One of the bigger ones that I noticed that I want to show you is in, let me just find it here. It was this one here. And this one was Hemet. Sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. But one of the big things you guys have to be careful of is spelling mistakes. If this is your video for your business and you make a spelling mistake, I think that tends to throw people off. Okay? That's something very important to do as well. The other thing that I want you guys to think about is also the effects, moving in and out effects. What I noticed a lot of, I'm just going to show you here with one of these videos to see which one has the biggest one. Okay, this one not so much. And I think it was this one. Okay, this one's okay as well. Where was it? Oh, right here. Okay. With Bobik's Magic one here, he's got two videos that he showed us. What I want to point out is that, I'll just play this so you can just see. Notice how this character came in from the left, which I believe is the standard movement that is there once you put in anything on the screen. Because this guy is on the right side of the screen, and because he's also looking left, it's better if he were to come in from the right side. Okay? So follow the direction that your character is looking to make the movement seem more natural, like he's coming in naturally. If you were to watch, if this was, for example, a movie, you wouldn't see the guy coming in backwards from the other side of the screen kind of thing, right? He'd be moving in from this side of the screen. So that is something to think about as well. It's also the same when it comes to your other images and things like that you place onto the screen. I think this one with the supplements. Okay, I think this one was okay. There's another one as well. There's so many of them. I think maybe it was this one here. Let's just have a look here. Right. This was actually quite good. I liked how that was kind of coming in as well. That was very good. So, but anyway, just think about what is the natural direction of the object based on its shape or how it's used. If there's an arrow, it's pointing to the right, make it come in from the left side of the screen. Things like that. If it's pointing up, then have it come in from the bottom of the screen. Things like that. So it just gives that kind of consistency with what we know to be true in, I guess, normal life or the physics that we understand now currently. The last thing I want to talk about is background music. Now, as I played through some of these earlier videos that I got, I noticed that almost, not everyone, but the background music was pretty much the same. I know that Powtoon has some fantastic background music that's available now with the looping feature and everything. But I think that, I think not everyone realizes that if there are more of these Powtoons out there, and there's, I guess over 600,000 of these now, that people might start hearing the same background music. So it's fine if you think that no one else will ever see it, but, chances are someone else might see it and they might recognize the music. So it's a good idea to try to, have different background music if possible, using the Powtoon, library of music here and finding something that's appropriate. And if something's not there, then look for different places to find music. And one of the best places to find music, as far as I'm concerned, if you want to use that, is a site. I want to type it in here in comptech.com. In comptech.com, and this is run by a guy. Suddenly his name eludes me, but he has fantastic music, and I've used his music in a lot of my videos previously as well. And the only thing that you have to do if you use his particular music is just to, in your description somewhere, in either YouTube description or just somewhere on your website or something, is to acknowledge that that's where you got it. And I believe his name is Kevin something. In any case, so you have to just say music by Incomtech and put in his website address, and that's it. Kevin McLeod at the Comtech. That's what it is. Okay, so that's that one there. So let me just ask how we are doing here. I'm going to move on to the videos here and kind of give some feedback about the videos now. Is the pace okay? Do you want me to go faster, slower? Can everyone just acknowledge how things are going right now? Okay, that's good. 2 good, 3 good. Oh, good. Okay, good. Show more examples. Okay, we're going to get to those examples. Good pace. I'm able to take notes. All right. Good. Thank you. Okay, I'm guessing the majority of rules that no one says it sucks or anything like that. So we're doing okay. All right, fine. Good intro. Spank. Oh, no. Okay, well, yeah, we'll talk more about that later. Before you rock. Thanks. Okay, so here we go. Let's have a look at Amit's video, all right? So Amit is using Powtoon in a very interesting way. He's using it to promote himself and for his volunteer work, to become a volunteer, which is very interesting to me because I was quite surprised that volunteers even needed to come up with a Powtoon in order to be, to work as a volunteer. And the other great thing about this is that using Powtoon as a visual CV or visual resume, it's just a fantastic way to differentiate yourself from other people who are competing for the same job, or in Amit's case, in Sardar's case, to try Amit Sardar's case, to become a volunteer for these great organizations that he wants to be a part of. I think that in his video, I'm just going to go through it a little bit here, and I'll play it so you guys can see it in case no one's watched it. So first of all, look at how great he's made this by adding his face to the Powtoon. I thought that was fantastic. Something that Daniel was asking earlier is this a feature that people would want to see? So would you like to have this kind of feature where you can place your own face over top of the character? Yes, yes. Makes it personal. Yep, cool. Yep, absolutely. I like it as well. I think it's fantastic for someone. Absolutely, of course, yes. Okay.
Just right in there, Carl, for 1 second. I just wanted to pitch this little thing in there. Is that if there's a feature like this you would like to see, most of our product development is based on your feedback. So either email me directly, just reply to one of the emails you get, or go in our support section. We have like a whole feedback thing where you can vote on different features, and I'll type in the address for that in a second. But you've probably run into that area of the site, which is a little hidden away once or twice. But please do give us all the feedback. If you want a feature, you will get it at some point, guaranteed.
Great. Okay, excellent. Thank you, Daniel. Okay, so here's the actual video. Someone asked about the links for the video. So this is the one that I'm looking at right now in case people can't see it. Okay. The one thing about this particular video with Amit's video that I also liked was that he was very consistent with his fonts. If we just have a look here. Right. So notice that he only had this one kind of different font, and this was from this character kind of speaking kind of idea. So I think this is very, very good. Otherwise, he used the same font throughout, which is fantastic because I think it's also the repetition is keeping consistent with the look of the video the entire time, rather than mixing fonts. I saw a lot of people kind of mixing fonts together, and although that could work if you're having, say, different characters speaking, it kind of throws you off a little bit. Think about these fonts and think about what they're used for, just like if you were to read a comic book. I mean, most comic books, the font is exactly the same throughout the entire comic book. And I think that helps, like I said, maintain the visual consistency, but it also makes it easier for you not to have to think of, oh my goodness, what kind of font am I going to use now? Right? I've used like this one like 2 times or this one 3 times. I better try a different one. It's really not necessary. What Amit's done here is actually fantastic because he's applied the concept of contrast to this as well, because you can see he's got this huge eye like here, and these different colors and things like that too. So it's really, really great. He's got these well aligned as well, you can see. Okay, so it's very, very good. With his, I like the way that he used the animations, keeping things moving and changing to keep the audience engaged. One thing that I will now sort of give a little bit of critical feedback is that I didn't know what the point of his video was until the end when he talked about his volunteer work. So if I just, if we actually, we can't watch the whole thing obviously with the time, but all of this at the beginning here is talking about who he is. And then it finally gets to the point of what can I do? And then he says, somewhere here, volunteering for me. And he talks about, all right, okay, it goes into this, sharing is caring. And finally, he talks about, where is it here? At the end. Right. I'm the volunteer you're looking for. We are 1 minute 44 seconds in the video. And now he talks about what his whole point is. Okay. This is, I'd love to hear about those stuff. You'd like to ask them. Okay. That's Daniel. Okay. So anyway, more animated characters. Yes, absolutely. That's a very good one. Now, if you see here, he doesn't tell us what the point of his video is until the very end. And so it's really important that you remember to say, look, this is me and I'm looking to come and volunteer and this is why. And then now you can go into the rest of the explaining and showing who you are. So that's something you should do. Now, the other point that I want to make for you, Amit, is that since you're promoting yourself, you really need to record a voiceover of yourself so people can hear who you are. You know, people, if they, for example, just for me, from my videos, because I use voice and everything, people already identify with that person, right? So it's very important for Amit in your case here to make sure you add audio to this. It would make it so much more personal, okay? So let's move on to the next one, which is here, and I'm going to send you guys a link here. Share this video. Audio jitters quite often. I wonder if that's just my speaking. Maybe I'll speak a little bit slower. Okay, so the next video here is this one here, and this is a video, very interesting video, about furnished apartments in Texarkana. Okay, in Texarkana. Okay, so the interesting thing about this video is that, first of all, it's a cool service. I had no idea this was even available. Something I really liked about this was first of all, the length of the video. It's 1 minute and 8 seconds. So it really quickly gets to the point. It can only be added at certain points. Okay, so this is a good question. It cannot be added at certain points. What you'd have to do is you'd have to go through your Powtoon and just record it, just start recording your audio at the point you want it to be. So you turn on your audio recorder and just basically, yeah, it's on a single track. You just basically would talk. And when you don't want any audio, just stop talking. And you can always record in another audio program like Audacity, which is for free. Audacity, I'll just type it in case no one knows what that is. Audacity. You can use that as a free software you can use to record with. And what it can do, really great thing, is that the points that have no sound, because of background noise and the room noise and things like that, you can actually just have it eliminate that sound. It'll actually just mute that sort of blank area. So that could be a good way to record your audio, so you can have audio only at certain points. Okay. So anyway, so back to the furnished apartments here with Caleb's video here. So first of all, like I said, length is great, cool service. One thing that I would say in this one here is to lead with a question at the very beginning. So right now at the beginning, if we start this, right. So this is something I noticed with a lot of the videos as well, is that because it's a business, we feel that we should have to talk about our business and who we are as a business right at the very beginning. And there's another video that does that, which was this one right here. I believe the last one. No, was it Mr. Simon? I believe it was this one here. Right, it was this one. The Surya Web. Now, if you look at this, I'm going to actually turn off the audio on this because it's quite loud. If you look at this, See, it's already 10 seconds in, and all we're getting is, still the company. By that time, with any kind of YouTube videos, especially YouTube videos, or any videos really, you only have about 15 seconds to get people's attention. So if you've already spent 10 seconds, they're waiting to, figure out, well, do I really want to watch this or not? And because I had to watch this to get feedback for people, I watched it obviously. But if I was just a regular viewer and I saw this, I'd be like, man, what's the point? Okay, this isn't for me, obviously, or what is this all about? I have no idea. So if we look, I'm just going to see where it actually ends. Here we go. Okay, so there, at 10 seconds. Now again, now we're still talking about the company. So we are now at that 15-second critical mark. And unless this person is, I don't know, for whatever reason they're particularly interested in your company, that's fine maybe. But for an audience, for your particular target market, this is going to be, not a very good thing for them. So once you get here, now you finally start talking about your expertise here, and this starts at about 22 seconds. So why do all these videos have created by Powtoon logos? Yes, you are special. Unless you have a different account possibly, so when you export them, you can export them without the Powtoon logo, but otherwise they will if you're using a free account, then they do have a Powtoon watermark to them all.
Carl, I have a question for you, actually.
Sure.
So you're describing here something that you think we can all identify with, is that when we are talking about our own business or something that we do for others, we really take pride in what we do, and we think through that lens. So we really try to tell people how excited we are about what we do. It's very, very hard to get out of that mindset and into the mindset that our viewer would like to see things. And so in an example such as this one or any other where you're showing, oh yeah, it's about me, which again is what we all tend to do, how would you suggest we flip it around a little bit and give us some tips into how to get thinking more from the viewer's perspective?
Right. Okay, great. Yeah, fantastic question. That was actually my next point here, which is great. So the point I wanted to make then is how to fix this is to be very, very diligent in coming up with who your target market is. So I think that we all kind of think, well, not everyone. Well, it's for everybody. My business or service or whatever I'm offering, a product or service, is for everybody. And although that may be true, there is a certain segment of everybody that is more of your everybody than the general everybody. So you have to be very clear about who exactly would care about your service, what sort of problem or issues you would have, and then you would lead with that. Always remember that there is, you do have to get their attention. So in order to get someone's attention, you have to speak to them first. Because if you're not speaking to them, then they think, well, this isn't for me. Why should I listen to this thing, right? That is the main thing that you can do in order to immediately improve any of your videos. Now, if you go into one that's really great here is, let me just see, where was it? Was it Eric's? Okay, we couldn't see hers. All right, okay. So, for example, with Eric's video about the best bar in Windsor, let's play through it.
Meet Eric. Eric is looking for a bar in Windsor.
Okay, so right away, he's telling us, okay, Eric is looking for a bar in Windsor. So immediately identifies that this is for people who are looking for a bar in Windsor, obviously, Windsor, Ontario, Canada. Now, one of the things I noticed about a lot of these videos that I saw is that they were very localized for local businesses. As an example, with Bobek's videos, I'm guessing that you don't perform your Santa Claus or your magic, anywhere in the country or anywhere in the world, right? I realize that your phone number is here, but, the interesting thing is that the phone number for me means nothing, because I don't know the area code or anything like that. I have no idea where you are, kind of idea. I know some of these videos were based in like Illinois, some were based in, in Canada, obviously, and some were based in India. But if you are going to speak to your audience and it's a local audience that you're going to be speaking to. Your business is local. It's really important. I think you can start the video by even saying, if you are living in the whatever area and you are this person, or if you have, the computer one with Ryan's. Let me just get to that one. Right, this one here. So with Ryan's video, let's just play through it. I'll show you what's happening here with Ryan. Let me just give the link out to people in case you want to actually see this. Okay, there's the link to Ryan's video. See, look at this. I wish I could make videos like this. I mean, it was that good. I mean, people are commenting and like that. So let's look at it.
This is you, and your business is really growing. As your business grows.
Right. See what he just said at the beginning. He says, this is you, right? This is you, and you have your business, and your business is growing. So he's immediately identified his target audience, which is business owners whose business is growing. This is great. Now, the one thing that his service is being offered, I believe it is, let me just see here. Right, here it is here. Okay. Right. I don't know where this is. So unless it's, his services is provided everywhere, where people will come and help you with your computer problems everywhere. He really needs to identify, okay, well, if your business in whatever place this is, if Ryan is on this call, maybe he can tell us. If Ryan, or did they get their graphics? They have an artist on hand. I mean, I guess Ryan can answer that, but I'm guessing yes, he probably has someone to help him with his graphics. Any particular graphics you're asking about, like his logo? Okay, I'm not really sure which graphics, but
Carl, I just want to jump in there on graphics and the issue of importing graphics. You can import any graphics you want into Powtoon and use them. You should be aware that if you are a business and using somebody else's graphics, they are the vast majority of times copyrighted. Now, if there are different levels of copyright. So there's what's called Creative Commons. If you're just using it for yourself as a business, that's one level. If you're going to resell the video to somebody else, it's a different level. So you can look for Creative Commons, and I'm going to type that in there in different places, and for free images, if you're a business, again, if that's an issue. And you can also buy them for various price ranges. Again, depending on the use, the price will change. So back to you, Carl.
Okay, great. Thanks, Daniel. And Ryan says that he made a lot of the graphics here. He used clip art that he downloaded, that he bought, so no issues with the copyright there. But very good point about that. And Ryan, I mean, did a fantastic job. I mean, this is great. I mean, this was probably one of my favorite ones because he did a good job of showing, not necessarily just telling people. So I thought this was fantastic.
Yeah, just another thing I forgot to mention, Carl, is that YouTube is actually picking up now on copyrighted material. So if you import into Powtoon music or images that are copyrighted, there have been several cases of users who have been their video on YouTube has been rejected, stating copyrighted material. So they are getting very, very good at that, and you want to just just pay attention.
Okay, no, that's a very good point. And actually, here in Korea, I one time made a video of my son or something like that, and I just put background music from some artist, and it was immediately deleted. It was immediately blocked and deleted. So I'm not sure in the States if it's as serious as that right now, or if they are so strict about it. But definitely, for example, like Daniel said, yeah, it can be a problem. So back to Caleb's video here, Stay Heaven. One thing that I want to say is, of course, the target market. We talked about that, and now I wanted you to talk about that. There wasn't enough on the benefits of your video of your service, and what you might need to do is you might actually need to make your video longer, because you talk a lot about your features: fully equipped temporary apartments, guarantee great service. This question here, actually, why stay in a hotel when you can live in an apartment, should be the start of your video, because this immediately grabs your viewer's attention, okay? Because now they know, oh, you're right, okay, why would I want to do that? And especially then you can put in Texarkana, for example, okay? if you're going to be coming to Texarkana, something like that. So that is really important. So this question here should be the beginning of yours. One other thing about yours is that you need more photos of your apartments, probably bigger photos as well, and brighter photos. If you look at some of the photos that you've got here, for example, this one here, these ones here, I would say that when I looked at these, I thought, okay, first they're using the real pictures. However, you need bigger ones, and you also need them to be brighter as well. Think about that someone's going to stay here, and people usually generally associate bright, vibrant images with positive emotions. And so when they look at it, I thought, well, it's a little bit depressing looking because it's a little bit darker than I would like it to be. In this first one especially, it's taken at nighttime, obviously, because it's dark out here with these on. It'd be a great idea to take these, during the daytime, open all the windows, even get professional lighting somehow in there if you can. Use a better camera maybe that can take brighter pictures and just make adjustments in your photo editing or something like that, but definitely do that. And then your fonts. So look at this here. You've got all these kind of fonts using these kind of very casual, relaxed fonts. And your service is for business travelers, I'm guessing, right? So definitely try to use a more professional-looking font. And then at the end of it, we've got here your call to action. Let's see. Okay, so you've got that. Let me just see here. There's other thing as well. Okay, so welcome home. Okay, he's got this. Okay, so his call to action is pretty much fill out the form below to get started today. And unfortunately, because in YouTube it's not here, obviously we don't have a form here. But what we need in all these videos, a lot of these videos, is you need a really good ending call to action. For example, in your video, you could even say, just bring your suitcase, for example. You could have something where, visit our website, it needs to be very clear. You did have your website there, but make it very, very clear what action you want people to take at the end of your video. And that goes for everyone who has a video or is thinking of making a video. Make sure you start off strong with really something that grabs your particular audience's attention. Make sure that you then talk about how you solve their problems or what it is that you do that helps your particular audience to overcome their troubles or that can improve their lives or whatever it is. And then make sure that at the end of it, you tell them what you want them to do and be very specific about that. Tell them that you want them to sign up for your service. Tell them you're going to give them something free by going to your website. Tell them that, they're going to improve their homework or, for your students, it's going to be something, I don't know, do your homework, I guess. I don't know what what kids need to be told nowadays. I guess they need to be told a lot, but that's something that you want to do. Okay. Now the other one here, next one, let's just see here. Rental property. Okay. This one here was. All right. Okay. So, the rental property. This is what I was going to talk about. Okay. So this is Sam's, I believe, rental property site. Again, another great way to use Powtoon to identify a problem for your target market and offer a solution. So that's what I just talked about. Now, the thing about this one, though, is that it took a really long time to get to the point of this video. Okay. For me, it seems like it took a long time. It needs to be faster to keep my attention. And also, we're not really sure who you're talking to, who your target market is. So, if we look at this, we go to the end, this is actually in Ghana. So this is in Africa, and we don't know that this is for people there. It just has this very general problem that people are experiencing with finding a place to live. And, right, so the other thing, we got to make sure that we identify our, like I said, target market and saying, okay, well, is this problem only experienced by single people? Because we only get to meet Kwame. Okay, and we've met Kwame so many times through this video, so it's really kind of overly repetitive. I know I mentioned repetition earlier, but this is too much. We don't need to, meet Kwame, and then I think we don't have to meet Kwame anymore. But we've met Kwame way too many times. Okay, so make sure that we, get to the point a little bit faster. All right, now. How does Ghana landlords actually work? How does it help to save time? That's something that should be in this video. Once we get through quickly identifying Kwame's problem, we should say, okay, well, here's the solution for you, and here's how it works, and here's how it will save you time. And again, like I said, it needs a voiceover, and also it needs a clear call to action. The service is free. Welcome to Ghana Landlords, right. So there's no real call to action at the end of it, okay? So that is what you should do. Now, I realize I said at the beginning of this, when we first started this whole thing, that I was going to go through and fix some of these, but I realized that it's going to take a lot longer, and I think just pointing things out to you would be great. Now, one thing you can do, I'm going to just say this, is that if I cannot get to your video, please let me know by emailing me, and I'll give you my email address here. Please email me and ask me to look at your video. I will happily review your video. I've done a lot of them. I've looked at every single one of your videos here already. And if I cannot get to all of them, and if you want some very specific just feedback for your video, I'd be more than happy to answer you. And if your video is actually on the blog there, I can actually look there as well, so I can definitely check. If you let me know, I'll definitely go and give you some feedback, more direct feedback to get to your video today. And I realized I was going to go through and kind of fix your videos, but there really isn't going to be enough time to kind of do that, just because of the number of videos you can see here on my screen. Okay, so that is that one there. Now the next one I want to talk about is this one, which is very interesting. This one here by Lisa, the Swaginator, the timeless Swaginator. A time swag, I have no idea what this is. It was interesting when I kind of went through it to figure out what this whole Swaginator thing is, and what it is she's using it to promote her book series, which is a fantastic use of Powtoon again. And the entire thing is very interesting because as a writer, she obviously has some knowledge and skill in terms of, right, I'm a writer, right? Yeah, it's great. So one of the things that makes it easy for her is to just basically, keep talking about stuff unless she's suffering from writer's block that day. But otherwise, I think it's pretty easy for her to do this. Now, the few different types of feedback I want to give here is that the timeless Swaginator slide here, I believe, let me just find it here, if I can just find it. Timeless Swaginator. Okay, it was slide text. Oh, right. Okay, so this one here, I'm just going to play through it so people can see what I'm talking about. Okay, notice that was really fast. All right, there's a lot of text that just showed up on there, and it was really fast. I could not read that. Maybe it's just me. I'm probably just a slow reader, but it needs to be a little bit slower and give people a little more time, and it needs to be a little bit bigger. Think about how long it would take you to read this at a sort of normal speed, and then give a few extra seconds after that. Unless you are voicing it, okay? If you're voicing it, then it's easy because people can listen to it and they don't have to necessarily see it as well. It's like watching, captioned TV program or subtitles, or not subtitles, but captions if you're using that on your TV or something like that. So definitely make the text larger as well, and try to keep to maybe a single point here. So you can say, let's start off with the definition of sorts, sorts of time swaginator is. And then maybe go into one slide that shows one who collects timeless swag and shares it with the world. And then have an image that represents that particular person as well. So you can match that. Then have your next scene, which is going to be the next one who has an incurable case of cats. Which is very interesting. So have that as well. So talk about what cats is there. Okay, someone wants to, audio isn't working or something here. So sorry about that. I don't know what to do, but any case, maybe Daniel can help you guys there, or someone else can jump in and help. But yeah, so for example, in your case, Lisa, it's really important for anybody as well. Try to remember 1 point per slide, one main point per slide you want people to focus on. Because one of the big mistakes that I noticed here was people using Powtoon as PowerPoint and making not yours, but maybe a lot of people we've seen have these really dry, boring, text-based PowerPoint slides. And if you've ever been in a presentation, where someone has that type of presentation, it's really boring. And, and I think that it's something that if you just kind of take your PowerPoint slides and take all the text from your PowerPoint and put them into a Powtoon and then animate it, it's not really any different than your PowerPoint. So if you're going to use Powtoon, then try to use less text, okay? Try to keep things a little bit more in the show category instead of the tell category. And then use the images, use the animations, use the different characters, whatever, to start to give visual representation of your message. And also, of course, add your voiceover so that people can actually just hear what you're trying to say instead of looking at all this writing, okay? Now, the interesting thing about Lisa is that the cat's definition also needs to be longer. And also, what's this cats you talk about? The slide needs, okay, right. So let me just, right here, what is this? Okay, right. So let's say this one here. I talked about proximity before. I also talked about contrast before. And this is a very good case of that and also of the characters. So I'll start with the character. Notice how she's looking off this way. And yet this is over here. The text is over here. It would be much better if we let her look this way. Okay, just because, there's no room for her to look anymore. All right? So it'd be a good idea just to flip her around so she's looking at most of the scene going on behind her here. And also, you can move this now. Like if she's confused and she's asking this question, I would say use the principle of contrast and make her much bigger so that we're seeing just mostly sort of her upper body here or just her face even, and then have the question appear, okay? So that we know that the character is also speaking so they can place this there. You don't even need this bubble anymore if you do that actually, but that's fine. Now the other one here that I want to point out is this. Lisa, our writer, you made a spelling mistake. Okay, sorry to point that out, but this is one of the things, I used to work as an English teacher in Korea many years ago when I first came here. And so I think this grammar and spelling are kind of gets me, I guess, a little bit. In any case, this is very important. Again, it tells people that either, yeah, dang, that's right. It tells people, not necessarily yours, but if there are kind of consistent spelling mistakes or grammatical errors anywhere, spell check is available. Yeah, it should be available. But if there are consistent or sort of strange grammatical or spelling errors that shouldn't be there, it gives that sort of negative impression about your, oh no, okay, yes, that, sorry, Lisa. And anyway, yeah, it's a tricky one, it's true. In any case, it is something that, yeah, did you want to say something, Daniel?
Oh, you see a notification every time I get out of mute? That's funny.
Well, yeah, I hear it, so.
Yeah, I was waiting for clearing, so, but I just wanted to say I'm a chronic misspeller as well. I have terrible spelling mistakes, and it's just like little typos and stuff. And what's amazing is you never see them when you're the one who writes. And we've had our homepage proofread by 3 different professional proofreaders, but then when it goes out to hundreds of thousands of people who see it, there's going to be that one person who sees something that other people don't see, and it's amazing. In plain sight, all of a sudden, spelling mistakes right there. And it can be last-minute typos. It could be just little things, and you don't see them in your eye because you've read this before. Your eye glances over. So, copy-paste into Word, into whatever, and just check it, because one of the main problems you have if you're going to export to YouTube is the fact that once you put it up there on a URL, you can't swap the video on that URL. So if you discover a spelling error after you've published that video, nobody and somebody tells you after the fact, you're stuck with it. You can't, you've already told everybody, go to this URL and use it. So it's a big issue, and we're actually designing a solution for that in Powtoon. But you really have to make sure you get that covered super well. And always use somebody else to check your spelling for you, but from experience.
Right. No, that's a very, very good point, actually. That's a very, very good point about that spelling, and about, once it's up there, it's kind of hard to change it, especially if you give links to people. It's a very, very difficult thing to do. Actually making the videos go viral. Yeah, thanks. I wish. Thank you. No, I'm just happy to share this information with people because I look at what you're doing as far as being a business owner and educator, and I think that to take this kind of step in your work or in your career or whatever, to make this kind of video, to take this kind of leap really to do this is fantastic, and so I commend you all for even just trying this. So I'm very happy to share whatever information I can with you. Back to Lisa's a little bit quickly there. Again, voiceover. Your books, make sure they add voiceover. And I think that your video is a little bit long. There's a sweet spot with videos. I know I think Russ is probably here listening into all this as well, is that Russ is going to answer it now. But anyway, so if Russ Law had one video about length of video, and I think that's fantastic. In my own opinion, anything between a minute and 2 minutes maximum is fantastic. Do not go over anything longer than that. The reason is because of just attention spans of people on the internet nowadays. It's just so hard to keep their attention that anything longer is kind of difficult nowadays. I just don't have time, for example, to watch anything long. The other thing also about the length is that if you have anything you want to explain, you should know it so well that you can explain it in such a simple way that you get the message out there as quickly as possible within that 2-minute period. Now, as an example, I have a lot of presentations clients here in Korea that often come to me and say, well, look, I've got this 10-minute presentation and I don't know how to fit everything in. And so they try, and it ends up being like 30 minutes, right? And they're like, well, how am I going to get all this stuff in there? And the thing is, the problem is that they don't focus on the issue that they really need to focus on for that particular audience. Again, it's all about knowing who your target market is and who the audience is in your case, and not identifying or focusing on just the main issues that you should be focusing on. So as another example to this about how quickly things can be explained is that the people that the scientists that discovered DNA, I forget their names now suddenly, but their presentation on DNA, possibly the greatest scientific discovery of our entire, lifetime or human, existence so far, that presentation was given in only 5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes to explain DNA. Okay, so whatever you have, I'm guessing you can explain it in less time than that. So try to think about that. All right. Now, also with Lisa's, it might be a good idea to start off with a question. For example, do you have cats? Okay. Do you do something and talk about the symptoms that you mentioned, because I think your video is supposed to be kind of fun or funny. So keep that kind of tone as well throughout, but also think about your music as well. Does that match with your message or story? And again, it's about showing and not telling. So keep the words to a minimum. Okay. You might even want to make a story about a fictional person suffering from cats. That could be how you could, explain this in a great way, is to actually just use your own skills as a writer and make a story about this person who's suffering from cats and what he or she can do. The next video, I know we're almost running out of time at 5, but I'm happy to go on a little bit longer, to be honest. If anyone, let me just ask, does anyone want to stay on a little bit longer if I go over time a little bit? Is that okay with anyone? Yeah, John is waiting for his, that's right. Because yours is next, John. Oh, great, okay. Oh, good, thank you. Okay, great, okay. So I do want to kind of get to these because it's something important. Now, as far as John's is concerned, I'm going to look at his first one here. Okay, so here's his magic one. Now, one thing that I'm going to point out, and this is very important, that it's not necessarily for Powtoon, but if you look here in the description of your video, okay, now I know that some of them with the free accounts, there's only a sort of limited thing you can add to it, but I believe, and maybe Daniel will have to confirm this with me, but at the beginning of all of your videos, it's really important that you do something like this. I'm actually going to show you with one of mine because that's probably the easiest way for me to show you since it's done in all of mine. And I'm just going to go to my channel here quickly. Okay. So if you look at right here in my video description, notice that I have the URL for my website here. All right, and I've got it throughout. If I show you the rest of this, okay, you can see I've got URLs placed throughout my description, okay? This is something that you should all do. You should definitely, okay, we'd love to, I'm gonna keep going, all right. I've been up this long, I may as well stay up a little bit longer, right? I'm not gonna be able to fall asleep now, I'm too, jacked up now with all this stuff. So anyway, if you put a link in your website, in your description, put it at the very beginning of your description. The reason is that A, people can see it, but also because YouTube is a gigantic search engine, okay? Oh, no, I've been up for a while. I've been up since 3, actually. I was up like 2 hours ago. Anyway, so like I said, YouTube is a gigantic search engine. It's owned by Google, right? They are, the biggest search engine in the world, and so they love video. So if your business or whatever, you place your website URL here at the beginning, and then in your description, okay, I'm going to show you one that has it very, I think in this one here, I'm going to show you. So I won't let you listen to this. Okay, sorry about that. That was actually, when I did the video, it's funny because I just started shooting the video and the announcement for my apartment came on over the intercom, so I recorded that and was kind of, doing that. Anyway, so if you look here in my description, you'll see that I always put, in this video, you will get something, right? In this video, you will learn something, okay? So try to use that. Try to use this kind of format where you put your URL and then put, in this video, something is going to happen. Because this is also seen by Google and by YouTube. So if someone were to search for example, this particular personal page promotion with Adil's video here, that will be visible in a search engine. It's part of your SEO strategy or search engine optimization strategy. For teachers, I guess it's kind of less important, but because your students are the only ones that are going to see this. But for anyone else, especially for anyone with a business, please try to think about that and add that in there, okay?
Actually, Carl, I did want to throw in something about teachers. The teacher community is very, very strong, and teachers are, there's a lot of, both on Twitter and YouTube, a lot of sharing of content and classes, et cetera, going on. We would actually love to be a bigger part of that, and we're taking some steps towards building it. We also have a teacher Facebook group where teachers are sharing content. So the teachers actually would really, really appreciate seeing what other teachers are doing as well. So this goes just the same for teachers, making sure that others can watch what you or your students have made if it's appropriate for that content.
Oh, that's a great point, actually. Yeah, that's a great point because let's say, for example, I know someone emailed me recently about using Powtoon for math classes and as a high school math class. And I think I told 7th graders weekly math report using students. Oh my God, you're an awful teacher. You're evil. That's evil. No, that's too much work for a 12-year-old.
No, they love it. They love it. And this is a good, actually, so, you're talking more about businesses, but, the kids, math is a tough one. But, topics that kids don't typically get too excited about, medieval history,
right.
Whenever it seems like, ancient 80s, they think that's ancient history. So they don't really want to read the text about it. It doesn't relate to them. But if you let them make a presentation about it and tell them, hey, there's this book, find information you need, and just tell the story to the class with it, all of a sudden they get really interested in the text. So as such, it's a fantastic tool to get them involved. And math, it works the same way. If there's a complicated topic that that you can explain something to somebody, and this actually works for businesses as well. If what you are working on is a complex issue, your service, the topic you're trying to teach or to explain to somebody is a complicated issue. If you put it in text, it takes a lot of effort for the person who needs to learn it to get it, right? They really have to be focused into it and take it step by step. The ability to simplify that into a simple story is really what makes the difference. And so if you are a contractor that you believe, why your service is so much better, right? But for the viewer, our contractors are the same. What's the big deal here? This is your chance to simplify it and show the story. And the same thing goes in education for math. If there's a complex formula, for everybody else, it's just a formula, right?
Right.
So now here's your chance to try and simplify it. And if the child does the simplification work, then they really get it. That's where the difference is. So anyway, back to you, sorry.
Oh, good. No, thank you. That's a great point. And actually, we're laughing about this earlier, but it wasn't the teacher. It was his dad that made a seventh grader do his math reports using Powtoons. Now that's okay. I mean, that's okay. I have a kid. He loves Powtoon. Actually, my kid, he's 5, and he loves Powtoon because he loves playing with it. I should show you the video he made. But anyway, he loves playing with it. So yeah, it's a great idea. I think it's a great way to help him learn as well. And you helped him, so I guess that's not cheating, I guess. It's fantastic, I think, to use Powtoon in that way as well. And he's got a visual record now of his homework, and he can use that for reference for studying again. I never even thought about how parents could use Powtoon as a tool for their kids to do their review or homework. I mean, if the kids are into it, if it's fun for them, then I think it's great. I think that's the biggest thing with education, is just to make it interesting for the kids in some way. So I think the Powtoon videos are a great way to do that, as Daniel said, to kind of teach these concepts and have them as a visual record. I think if you're a teacher, your lessons. Someone asked me recently about that, if I could help them make a bunch of lecture videos, and I said no, because it was just a lot of work for them to kind of have to make the lesson and then make them into PowerPoint slides and then pay someone to make them into Powtoons. I thought, you know what, I think there's better use of your time, which is to just do screen captures of everything. But if you have lessons that are kind of concepts, or as an example, you're going to teach, some form of algebra. My math is terrible, so I don't want to mention any type of math equations or anything like that. But if you're going to teach, let's say you're teaching addition. I can talk about addition. If you're teaching addition to people, to young kids, or to me, for example, you would then be able to have your Powtoon explain the concept of addition, give some examples, and then that way, now your students can use that for review, can have that forever basically online, and then that can be shared with other teachers around the country or the world as well. So for educators, yeah, fantastic way to get things out there, and for your kids to make them as well, your students to make them, and let them share their knowledge with the rest of the world too. Collaboration with different students from around the world. A great way to use Powtoon there too, okay? So I'll get back to this description here. It's really important. Let me just move this out of the way. So what I've actually done in this is I've kept things short, and then what I do is I always include my own website and maybe my Twitter feed and my Instagram and whatever other type of websites I want people to visit. But make sure that you include the HTTP part, okay? HTTP :// and then whatever your website address is. Because if you don't include this, then the link is not a live link, all right? So if I show you this, if I go back page here, if you look at these links, they're live, okay? They have this blue, so they're live links. If you click on this, it will actually go to my website. So you can do that, all right? Okay, so let's just keep moving along here then. Okay, right, so John, yes, okay, John's impatiently waiting about his magic thing here. Okay, so this one here is, I love this. I mean, there's magic everywhere. I absolutely love this magical thing. One of my best friends, who's also a presentations guy, is a magician, and Charles Green, if you guys have a chance in Washington, D.C., Charles Green III is a fantastic guy to get in touch with. The one thing here, again, is for your magic, John, is who exactly is this for? That's the one question that I had, is who is your target market? So we need to kind of identify that. Let's watch a little bit at the beginning here. There. So at 12 seconds, we're now getting into having an event. Now, I think it'd be a great idea to actually start with this, okay, having an event. And actually, I know that he's going to have stuff coming out here in a second, But what you could do is you could actually just place this over in the top, in the middle here, or on the side or something, all in one line. Okay, so now we've got all this kind of stuff coming out, which is fine. I think that if you do this individually, so let's say you had having an event on one slide, and then on your next one you could have these other ones come out, and then that way you could include people, you can include more of a visual situation, so a birthday party. I mean, the birthday party to me, kids and cake and color and fun. So I would say you could do that with one slide a lot easier. Same with family reunions. Same with, community days. I think you could definitely place all these onto one slide and it would still work well for you, okay? Because you've already taken some time, about 7 seconds now, to show all this. So you could easily have it playing on one slide. Your video is quite short, so that's fine. Right, so then your contact information and your phone number, leave that until the end. And also, if you're having an event and your location, I'm not sure where you are, John, but where you are located, but you might want to talk about that. Having an event in, whatever city you're in, having an event in Seoul, South Korea, or having an event in my hometown of Vancouver, BC. You might want to say, are you having an event in Vancouver, or something like that? Are you having a birthday party in Vancouver, or something like that? So then you can specifically talk to people who are looking for that, okay? And then, let me just see here, 6 or 106 part should go before your contact information. Okay, 6 or, let me just find out where that is here. Right, okay, great, this. Okay, so this is, he's talking about who this is for now, actually. So, let me just see, where is it? Right, so he's got or call here. Okay, where is it now? Okay, right, he's got the phone number here in the middle at about 43 seconds. And then, John, you've got, if you're 6 or 106, right, this is for you. So all of this stuff should be at the beginning, okay? All of this stuff should be at the beginning, okay? Is it on the web but not in the video? Okay, I'm not sure if that's for me. But in any case, all the stuff should be at the beginning because it's talking about your target audience and should they be interested in even watching your video. So place all this stuff at the beginning. And again, a voiceover. You are Santa. You are a magician, right? John's got another video here where he talks about his Santa home visits service, which is amazing, actually. If anyone is interested in having Santa come to your home and you live in this area where John is, which we don't know, definitely give him a call. I think it's a cool idea to have Santa come to your home. So definitely use your voice because this is you, totally, okay? And if you go to your Santa one here, great service, and this one here we know who the video is for. So this one here actually is I would say better than your magic one. So let's watch this quickly. Right. Okay, I love to go see Santa, but the traffic will be awful. Okay, we know automatically that this is Christmas time. It's a mother, so we identify quickly who you're talking to. So this one here, in this case, what you could do is once you get to the parts where she's really frustrated and talking, you could definitely zoom in on her, change the whole scene, move things around so that we're focused on her emotion during this critical time of her life. That's a good idea. That's something you can do. Definitely do not be afraid to kind of King of Prussia, Pennsylvania here. Okay. Okay, thanks. Anyway, my voice just died. That's probably because it's early in the morning. I should be here, and I think I'm here anyway. So definitely for you, John, is you can definitely, and for anybody as well, once that emotion comes in, change the scene. Because if you watch any type of TV or video or whatever, film, whatever, they very rarely stay with the same shot for any length of time. Typically, you're looking at probably 4 seconds to maybe at the most 10 seconds, unless you're Steven Spielberg and you'll keep someone on a scene for a long time. But then he'll actually move the camera around that scene. So in order to keep people interested and engaged in your video, it's important to have some kind of movement and change. So yes, he's got the text coming in, he's got the movement with the Powtoon stuff happening. That's great. But also just using that sort of cutting away to different scenes and showing people different things. can be very, very helpful too. I'm going to actually even show you one of the videos that I made for someone recently that hasn't been published yet that makes use of this. Let me just see here. Okay, so the next one here that I want to get to is our vitamin retailer. Okay. So now this one.
Carl, before you go on, I just wanted to point out something I just noticed. You were talking before about the keywords in YouTube, and as I was watching, I was looking at the screen, and I noticed that the videos and the suggested videos in the bottom right, you see our mom and dad and Sesame Street and all kinds of videos, and those are selected by YouTube based on, among other things, your keywords. So if you put in a consistent keyword, if you're doing YouTube marketing, you really want to make sure you get the keywords that will bring in the right videos, specifically yours, so people keep watching you and not watching stuff that are, Lord knows what, and particularly if you're in education also, you want to pay attention to that. So, if you want to make sure not to get your competitors in there. You want to make sure not to get inappropriate videos and not stuff that will dilute your credibility. So just simple keywords that are great, and just pay attention to that. If you look at Carl's videos, pay attention to what is suggested on the right as he's going to show it.
Right, that's a very good point. And I noticed that just for my own videos or whatever, that most of the time I see myself on the side here. I don't know if that's good or bad. I mean, it might be something good. But in any case, yes. Like here, for example, we've got Philip Bloom, who is a very famous videographer, here together with your vitamin supplements. So it's kind of, unusual on Sesame Street as well, which is good. But yeah, your vitamins, it should be something about, maybe other videos that you've made. And definitely, once you start making these videos, it's a very good idea to keep making them, or to make at least, say, 10 of them. And what you could do is you could have one that's an introduction to your business or service or whatever it is, and then maybe say make 10 more, which are just very short FAQ style videos that people might have questions about your particular service or product or whatever, and use them for that. And for example, John was asking about, he missed a bit of it and couldn't hear it. Actually, John, you've got to listen to it again, but I mainly talked about what you could do with your characters and how you could change things as far as showing more emotion and things like that. Otherwise, I thought your video was very, very good. Just the voiceover, of course, is the main thing you would need. But listen to it again afterwards and you can have a look, because other people are waiting here, sorry. So in any case, so this one here, so we start, you're welcome, John. So with this one here, the target market is not really quite clear, because even though we were saying, okay, are you confused about vitamins and supplements, but who exactly? Is it the moms? Are you saying, if you're a mom and you want to have the best, vitamin supplements for your family, and you're tired of going to big box stores, then I have, the perfect solution for you, which would be whatever, okay? So that might be something you could do. Now, one thing about your particular business that is very kind of, I think, challenging for you is what is different about your particular service compared to other online vitamin and supplement retailers, because there's a lot of them, right? So that's important to kind of differentiate yourself, to figure out what is different. Now, one thing you did here was you talked about your business and who you are. You talked about your name, where it comes from, and things like that, which is interesting to you. However, this doesn't tell the customers why they should be, not to argue that it is working fine. Oh, okay. Okay, I thought they were being argumentative about me for a second there. I was getting worried. Anyway, so yeah, you don't need to explain your business so much, because only you basically care about this more than they do. So what they care about is how does your service help them to get their vitamins better, or why should they use your service? That would be a much better use of this particular space in your video, okay? So that would be the main thing about that. It was very good. The images you used, I think they were fine. And again, we've got you covered. So now you finally identify this family here. So is it families? Is it moms that you're targeting? Who are the people who do most of the shopping for this type of thing? Is it mom or dad, or is it, our kids or whatever, buying stuff online without us knowing. You know, it's that, figuring out exactly who your target market is and talking to them directly, okay? And of course, where you're located as well. I mean, for you, it's not a big deal where you're located because it's an online service. So in that case, it's fine, okay? So let's move on to the next one. Oh, Eric, okay. Oh, no, sorry, I've got the online profile. Okay, online profile. Now, this one here is interesting because of the type of service you're offering. Let me just show you a little bit at the beginning here. Okay, first, spelling mistake, right? Okay. Okay. So once we kind of move through this, I mean, this is pretty good. You probably don't need this. Well, sit back and watch closely because they're already here. And so you want to do something else that gets their attention. Your service is interesting because it's about personal pages, but it's not really clear who exactly this can benefit or exactly who it is for. And why would I want to use it instead of something, for example, like LinkedIn or about.me, for example? Why would I use yours instead? We need to have some sort of clear, who is it for and why should I use this and why would I want to use it instead of something else? And the things that you talk about in your benefits here, these, let me just get through so I can see them all here. Okay, so your benefits are actually, to me, in my opinion, as a marketer, as a marketing guy, and someone who's done a lot of these presentations, is that they are actually features. Okay, use a clear purse. I mean, okay, no, it's not purse. It's a personal profile statement. Okay, so these things here are actually features, okay, of your personal page. They're not necessarily benefits that you want to offer, okay? So a benefit, your professional resume on one page, yeah, it seems like it might be a benefit, but you might want to say something like, quick, look at your resume or whatever, or quickly view your personal profile or something like that. Save people time from having to go through many pages of resumes, for example, something like that might be more beneficial than just having it on one page, okay? And your steps, when you get to the steps of actually setting this up, this is actually really long, okay? Anyone who's going to watch this, I mean, we're not going to watch the whole thing now, but I'll just kind of show you maybe, let's see, I think it's from here. Right, so now we've done it twice now, and it's taken, I think, about 14 seconds or something like that, two things. So this needs to be faster. Focus more on why and what it can do for someone if they have this leaf page instead of going through these really long steps. Make it really simple. Just show them, like step 1, step 2, step 3 on one page, and that way they're getting everything right away and it's all there as well. The other thing that people don't realize when you're making videos for YouTube is that you know how there's thumbnails, right? So when you look at down here, if you can see, these are all thumbnails, okay? And if you're ever wondering where YouTube gets these thumbnails from, they actually take it either from the very beginning of your video, usually within like the first few seconds, at the ending few seconds of your video, and then the middle of your video. So if you do not have one of the what is it called, the upgraded accounts with YouTube where you're allowed to choose your own thumbnails and you're allowed to do different things with it, custom thumbnails and things like that. If you're not a partner, right, partner. I'm a YouTube partner. Why don't I remember that? Anyway, as a YouTube partner, you're allowed to have your own customized thumbnails. But if you're not a YouTube partner, if you just have like one video, for example, it's got one video, then in the middle of your Powtoon, okay, whatever the exact middle is, then think about that might be your thumbnail. So you might want to then either have a very clear image for a few seconds, like say 5 seconds or something, of something you want that would be your thumbnail, okay? Thumbnail, those custom select. If you look at my video, here's an example of thumbnail. Yeah, right. So it's selected by you. Did you upload your own thumbnail, or is that one that was given to you as a choice from YouTube here? That's the main question. The ones that you could upload directly yourself, then that's what you'd want to do, is upload your own thumbnail as well. That's very important to do, so it doesn't show like some funny thing there, okay? And again, the voiceover is very important. So let's get on to Eric's. Now, Eric's is fantastic. I loved Eric's. It was the target market was clearly defined, nice voiceover for it, good pace, and the story was good. Excellent transitions and screenshots that he used for the site here. Actually, the previous one with Zephyr, you can maybe take a little, some notes from Eric's, because look how quickly he gets through this here. Okay, let's just watch this quickly here.
Eric's been clicked on inwindsor.ca. There you can see the list of all the bars in the list. Eric can see how each bar has been rated by customers, and also see customer comments about each bar. Eric can then see what are the top.
Okay, all right, so there. See how quickly Eric gets through this, okay? So it's fantastic. Now, the one thing that I would say about Eric's video, the only sort of criticism I would have for his, is that the character Eric is a little kid. I mean, he looks like a little kid, and he's looking for a bar. Okay, Eric's looking for a bar. I mean, I don't know how old Eric is, but he doesn't look old enough to drink, okay? You might want to consider getting someone a little bit older looking who actually looks like they can enter a bar. He might have some fake ID that gets him in. I don't know. You know, that might be what he's doing, but definitely that. Now, also, you need to identify. Sorry, actually, I was confused. That's it. Actually, for Eric, that was the big thing there, was just changing the character, because it's a little bit confusing. When I first saw Eric, I thought it was going to be something about kids, and then when the bar came out, I was confused. I wasn't sure if this was legit or what. So definitely consider that. Now back to Ryan's. Again, this is fantastic. Not really much to tell you about. Although your target market is defined, you want to identify your exact target market, because it is a local business, okay? So that's that one there. Let's go to Marianne's. And now this one here was very interesting, because it was longer than most of the other ones that I have seen, at 4 minutes and 31 seconds. But the interesting thing about this one is that it had a really great story to it. And so I didn't have a problem kind of watching a lot of it, although I do think it can be a little bit shorter, shorter or a little bit faster with the voiceover. If we listen to this, okay, so it's a little bit slow in terms of the voice, or maybe it just needs to be shorter. I'm not sure which one, but try that. Now also, what's really great about this one is the different use of pictures. Okay, so it was really great in terms of the pictures, in terms of the transitions, everything. I thought it was great. So I didn't really have anything else to say about that one. Just like I said, shorter or faster. Okay. And oh yeah, Daniel, yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to mention about the length of the video. One has to really understand what is the viewer's alternative when watching the video. So when many times we cannibalize our own viewership by putting longer videos. At the end of the day, if the video is on the website, the longer the person is watching the video, the less time they have to interact with our website, because frankly, how long do they want to be there? They have a fixed time, so to say. So you want to balance that out, get to the point as quick as possible. But for instance, if the video is in a classroom or in front of your coworkers and there's a lecture, there is no alternative, and you can go a little bit longer to make sure you explain the point. So you have to think about what is the context, etc. And sometimes you really want to go as short as possible and get there. Sometimes not.
No, you're absolutely right. So definitely the context, who your target market is and your target audience is, and just what the purpose of your video is. I think just identifying the purpose, why it exists, those kind of things will help you as well. And then again, like you said, considering the attention span of people when they come to your video or your website or whatever it is, how long could they actually sit through this? Even if it's educational, how long can the student really sit there through, and watch your presentation. So speaking of education, great, because we got into Andre's here about Niagara College in Canada. So the thing about this one is that this is a perfect example of it's good for what it is, because he clearly uses it to explain, about the classes and how things are delivered and whatever. So I think that for the purpose, it's good for what it is. However, I would say that it's a lot like a PowerPoint. Okay, it's even set up as the slides instead of as the video. So if we look at this, this reminds me of typical PowerPoint. So if we look at this here. Okay, so we can see, he's doing this with it. He's using the animations and whatever, but it still reminds me of PowerPoint. So I think in this case here, this is another example of where Andre should have the audio. He should definitely use a voiceover for this and talk through it. And then that way he can, change this into something less wordy and use it as, like I said, showing instead of telling everyone about things. And then thinking about, okay, just being more visual, because you are using Powtoon, you are using something that is visual, the animation. So try to incorporate more of that visual element to it, and make these things larger. For example, you have these 3 things here, make them larger. And I mentioned things like alignment and proximity and things like that. One good thing to do is to use as much, for these type of presentation style things, use as much left alignment as possible. Okay, I know he's got it all centered here, and you don't always need your logo here, for example, but make things less centered. Keep the fonts really clean and simple instead of necessarily with the italics here. Just use different sizes instead. So this would be good. It's larger. But then when you get to the next ones, make them a little bit smaller so that we can see that there's a difference between them. And then if they're related, then keep them together. Again, here we've changed fonts completely. We've changed colors completely. So it's a slightly visually distracting for people. So try to maintain some consistency. Again, see the same thing happens here. And then if we go through these, right. Okay, so I mean, like I said, for what it is, it's good. It just needs to have his voice, and you need to think about just keeping things more consistent with the look and the colors that you use. Okay, I know that it's hard for teachers. I think we try to keep things, keep our students engaged, and one of the most difficult things to do is to kind of design things. I think we don't want to think about that too much. So definitely consider that for your video. Okay, and I think that was one of the ones that I saw. Oops, that's my messy desktop screen there. Okay, so, all right. Okay, this one here about studying. Okay, so this one was very interesting in that it was about this education. I loved this. I think this is a great idea where people can go on these trips, but it's actually these educational trips, right? You don't have the cash to get away, right? And these new tours and, experience history firsthand. This is fantastic, I think. So what it needs to do in your case here is just to talk about who it's for specifically in terms of like locally, okay? Is it for kids in only certain areas? Is it for children all over? If you are, start time, so studying, makes you want to run away, don't have the cash to get away, or don't have parents that will give you the cash to get away. Right, I think this is pretty good. Yeah, I thought the pace was very good as well. Making friends all over. With an iPad, that got my attention right away. Don't miss the boat, apply online. Great, great. So the call to action was very good in this one, right? So what's going to happen? You're going to win an iPad. Don't miss the boat kind of thing, right? Make sure you're getting on it quickly. And apply online at what? So we need to put this, apply online at something. Okay, I'd say apply online at whatever. Something like that would be a very good idea. Okay, and wow, I'm going to get through all these maybe because you guys are all being very patient with me. Oh, this was very interesting. Mandy's was very interesting as well because she is a teacher, right? And she's teaching writing, I believe. Was that right? I just want to make sure I didn't mess that up. Right. Okay. So she is a teacher teaching writing and things like that. And I thought this was very good, actually. I really liked Mandy's, especially the use of the pictures here and the different ways she uses the animation of the chalkboard because she's a teacher. And look at how consistent everything is. Okay. If you look at it, the only part, she has the beginning with this here. Okay. And I recognize all this because it all comes from iMovie and from Apple. This is actually one of the Apple backgrounds in Apple's Keynote presentation software, and then she's applied, the Powtoon to it, which is a great idea. And also the music is from Apple as well, which is fantastic because it's using something a little bit different. So, what she's done, she's maintained this visual consistency, except for this part here, but otherwise everything is totally consistent looking. So notice how easy it is to watch it, because we're not distracted by the changes in the look or the fonts or the colors or whatever. Everything is consistent. So I thought she did a really great job with this. Okay, and to see how, right? To see how exactly. So her call to action, right? Perfect. So I thought this was very, very good. Okay. All right. And this one here, how to love her. Oh yeah, this was very interesting. I thought maybe I should sign up for this service here, but it was a relationship advice, I believe, and how to make your wife happy. Okay, you don't want to pay attention to me anymore. Sure, dinner may get you out of the doghouse and flowers and things like that, but a trip to the jewelry store, go on vacation. Okay, this is hilarious. Only works for getting you out of this mess. Okay, I love this. Okay, maybe I should sign up for this. Anyway, so I thought this was very good. Now, this is one example of, so look at how the animation again. He's looking this way, but he should really be looking this way. And, he came in from this left side, which is perfect, but he should be looking that way. And again, make use of the different ways you can zoom in on the characters. Once you get to these things about, being in the doghouse, like for example here, where he's really sad now, make this big. Make this a lot bigger so we can really feel that he's really that upset. Okay? So that would be, for you, the kind of tips I would give you. And again, be your wife's superhero, smother you in hugs and kisses and things like that, and sing praise to her other girlfriends. Sign up below to get tips that you show her how you love her delivered to your cell phone daily. Okay, that was great. Okay. So, you got your call to action here. Now, where's your website? Or where do people sign up? Okay, so that's not here. So you definitely need to include your website here somewhere. All right, put that here or something like that. You might even want to show how they can do it. Your video is very short. You're at 1 minute and 12 seconds, which is fine. But here it is. Okay, click link below to sign up. Okay, here it is. So you might want to repeat that at the end again. Okay, repeat that at the end again. Right, offer ends. Okay, next week. Okay, so you might want to repeat what you put here and put that back here. And you might even want to show them the steps that they would take to sign up if it's really simple, like, sign up in 3 easy steps. Step 1, enter your email address, and step 2, your name, and then whatever, something like that. Ryan, yours is awesome, man. I love that. Anyway, one video, you should do more, definitely. Okay, so this one here, we talked about this one here earlier as well. I mentioned how don't show so much of your company so much at the beginning. Really get to what you do quickly. And this one here, this is, as far as this technologies and whatever, really you have to talk about the benefits of your service. Not so much what you offer. You do have to talk about that, but you need to talk about why does your business exist and what do you actually do for people, your customers, okay? Why would, here, your expertise is these things here, what you do, but, you could even say now how you actually make this work for people better, how you do this better than other people. So let's say, for example, you say website design. Okay, Well, people don't really need to know that you're doing HTML5 and CSS and PHP and Flash and WordPress and Joomla, whatever. What they really need to know is, back here, the website design. So you want to talk about, for example, this is how we do, help you with our website design, right? We will do this, and you can do this, and we will help you with this. The big problem with website design is this, and this is how we help you. So you have, these are all basically all web-related expertise areas of expertise here. So you might want to just say, okay, our expertise is in a complete, online experience for your business or whatever, or setup, and we will help you with your web design, web develop, whatever. We do this. So you might want to choose one to start with. So you're focusing on one particular target market. So as an example, people who are interested in e-commerce websites are not the same people who just want a website to, like me, for example. I don't have an e-commerce website, but I promote my own business and service through my website. But it's not an e-commerce site. So you might want to be very clear and maybe make a video specifically for the different target markets that you have, and then explain more of how your service works and how people can actually get it, instead of what the different features are, like this, the technology that you have. Okay, best price, best service guaranteed. These are fine. I know that people use this a lot, but it might be something that people will use to compare you on price, which is not always a good thing, right? You might want people to more focus on what you can offer them, and a lot of times price can take care of itself, actually. Okay, Mr. Simon. Oh, this was great because it was a test of my high school French skills. This was very interesting, actually. I got the message, and the great thing about this video that I really loved was how you guys used all of these different backgrounds. You incorporated your own images into this. Look at this. I mean, this is a great way to do this. Now, these images can be found either through the Creative Commons. There's a really great website, and the website is actually compfight.com. Hang on a second here. Just typing it in. Compfight.com. Now, this is a site that goes through Flickr, the Yahoo-based service Flickr, and it will find photos for you that are free to use, which have a free license to use. Some of them are not, so be careful, but for the most part, all of them are. And all you have to do is, you want to say something, Daniel?
Oh, yes, so I keep cutting you in the middle of the sentence. But yeah, essentially we have that built into Powtoon right now. When you click on the import image, there is a search button that's kind of right next to the import. It's a tab, and it does exactly that. It'll search through Flickr's Creative Commons for you. So it's built right in there. You just select the image, and it brings it right in.
Fantastic. No, that is fantastic. So I think, if you're gonna use images like this, like what we see here, it's a great way to incorporate images. And also now that it's incorporated within Powtoon, it makes it so much easier. You don't have to go to different websites and find things. So I think that's great. Now look at how, they've really used a lot of, even people. And look at how she comes in from this side, pushing this in. I thought this was fantastic. So what they were doing was really good. I would just say, what did I have to say for this one here? Oh, right. It was just that I guess there's no website, but also should they identify who it's for, because, we're talking about in Quebec here. And yeah, I thought this was really, really well done, actually. This here with Dr. Phil, because he's cut off here, or just say kind of make him bigger so he's not, floating. Other than that, I thought a lot of it was really fantastic, especially because it challenged my French skills, which, made it more fun for me. Anyway, that was the last one, I believe. The last one here is mine here. So does anyone have any questions for me that I didn't answer, or that you want to know more of? Oh.
Not sure what poopery?
Okay.
I'm not sure what Dan is going after there. Potpourri is not a I'm not sure.
So did he want to see it? I'm not sure that I want to see it now.
That's a little red leaves you put in the basket in the bathroom, isn't it? In Canada, they like that a lot.
Yeah. Canadians love potpourri. It's potpourri. We don't call it poopery, but we call it potpourri. That's hilarious.
I don't want to think what poopery is, but
no. I'm sure I've seen it out on the street a few times, but it's really poo. Oh, great. No, I'm interested. Yeah. Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's hilarious.
Funny.
We've had some of those, but actually, your question here is very interesting. Your expert tips for making our videos go viral, and also how about we as a Powtoon community help others by commenting, liking. Okay, very interesting. Yeah, I'm very curious now, actually. So about making your videos go viral, I would say that there's no real formula for making them go viral. The viral videos that we often see, there's a lot that goes on in the background that we don't know about to boost up the search sort of results when people look for things, or to make them as featured on YouTube. One of the things, being here in South Korea, maybe some of you guys around the world have seen, but it's that video, Gangnam Style, the Gangnam, or I don't know how you guys say it in English, but in Korean they say Gangnam Style. And the Gangnam Style video by Psy was the most viewed video in YouTube history, right? In history of YouTube, like over 1 billion views or whatever it is. And the thing about that one, and about but a lot of so-called viral videos, is that a lot of work is done beforehand to get people interested in the video already. And that's what they did with that particular music video, is that they were, part of it was shown at a Dodgers game, I think, in California there. And they also purchased, the bad word here, they also purchased a lot of views at the beginning when the video was first uploaded. Now, I'm not saying that that is right or wrong. That's really up to you to decide if that's something that you want to do. But what that does is that if YouTube sees that a lot of people are watching a particular video within the first kind of, I believe it's like 24 hours or something like that, they will actually, there's a chance that your video can be featured on their, main page, on their main YouTube page. And so that can really help as well once, to go viral or whatever. But, going viral is not always as important, honestly, in my opinion, as much as it is getting your message out to your audience and being very specific with your keywords and your SEO and making sure that your video can be found more than worrying about it going viral. For example, some of my videos that I have up, I think one of them, it was like an airport announcement video. It had like over 100-something thousand views, which I don't think is viral, but it's taken a long time to kind of get there. And some of them, as long as the content is good, they will sort of get noticed eventually by people. And you can also promote it in different ways. Making sure you use your Twitter and LinkedIn and Google Plus and Facebook and all different kind of ways to promote it. Uploading it to different, downloading the video, exporting your video, and then uploading it to other video sharing sites like Vimeo and wherever else you can find to upload them. Basically, the more instances of your video that are referenced online, the better. So it'll give the search engines a chance to see that there are many sort of links from your video or from your content back to your website or whatever, or back to your video, and that will help with your video being viral. If going viral is your goal, Made to Stick book about what makes things go viral. Yeah, Made to Stick is a fantastic book, and it's one of the things, actually, I'll talk about that in a second, but if going viral is your goal, it really needs to have great content to be extremely entertaining. You almost want to sell without people realizing you're selling to them. Exactly. I mean, that is the main thing here. If that's your goal, then you want to consider that. Did you want to say something, Daniel?
Well, specifically, it's impossible to make something viral.
Right.
People and companies have put so much money into trying, And the ones that seem to go viral are usually the ones that didn't try that hard. So there is a level of randomness, and Carl is completely right. Most of what you do see viral has been heavily promoted in the back ends through various paid-for distribution channels and affiliate marketing and all kinds of shady businesses to kickstart it. But you can definitely make a movie that is viral quality or has viral elements in it, and you can read books like Made to Stick, etc. There are formulas to it. There was a guy who made a Powtoon. What was his name? His Powtoon went beyond 2 million views, and I talked to him about it, and he said he went for different affiliate marketing tactics in the beginning to kickstart it. But he said basically he looked for something that anybody can relate to, and so he decided to manufacture a video about why he hates Windows operating systems. He doesn't know anybody who doesn't hate it, so of course everybody would watch it. So it's about making it broad. It's about getting all of these formulas right. But then whether or not it will go viral, you have no control over it.
No, absolutely.
Really
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No, exactly. So, it is really a difficult thing, and it's not something that, I mean, definitely if that's your goal, then go for it. I think it's fantastic. I mean, do what you think is going to work for you. And like John says here that his friend's video was featured on a local news channel, has over 2 million hits. I'm not sure how that happened, but in some cases, if you do press releases, if you have a business, or if your situation or your school or something like that, get that publicity for it. Let people know about it in other ways. Like, the internet is obviously huge and popular, but there's still a whole other world offline that would be interested in coming online, or that will see your information about your video offline somewhere and then come and see it that way. So definitely, promote your video in different ways in order to get it more popular and possibly going viral, like those Old Spice videos. Any other questions? Okay, so, you're right. So before I end here, there were two things that people had asked me, which I was going to talk about, right? So things people wanted to learn was where to get music, and we talked about that a little bit. I talked about using the website there, incomptech.com, with Kevin, what's his name? Kevin Nick, whatever. Anyway, that is a great place to get music. I think that's probably one of the easier places to get customized music for. The other question that I had was from Bill, and he said here, I'm a good storyteller, but I have no real sense of what works visually. How to match pictures with words is what I'd like to learn. Okay, this takes a little bit of practice. How do you add sound effects? Okay, I'll tell you about that in a second. So the thing about matching pictures with words is that you have to pretty much force yourself not to use the words and take the time to actually go through and find a picture that represents what is happening. It's a representation. It's not going to be exact in a lot of cases. And that is something that is practiced, I suppose, and you can get feedback from it and learn to make that better. Or you can hire, people like myself or Russ or whoever to do it for you. But the main thing is, if you're going to do this yourself, I think it takes a bit of practice, and having choice in pictures. I mean, I'll tell you a little story quickly. Is that a lot of the presentations that I've made for people, and some of the presentation style videos I've made for people, there's a lot of pictures. They're basically all visual. And I'll tell you, it takes a long time to go through and find the pictures that are appropriate. Sometimes I think, if I wasn't getting paid for this, I wouldn't do it, kind of thing, right? 'Cause it's a lot of work. So it does take some practice, and you do have to think about, okay, just representing the idea or representing the situation in a visual way, and then just kind of playing around with different ones and finding one that just kind of feels right. And that's really the best advice I can give you for that. Was there something that Daniel wanted to say?
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah? No? You're okay? Okay. So the question here, it says, how do you add sound effects to objects when they appear or disappear from the slide? Now, okay, so these are getting into the secret ninja techniques of Powtoon here, okay? So I don't know if I should tell everyone these secrets, but what I do is I will create my video in Powtoon, and I'll I'll record my voiceover separately because I'm using, different hardware to record it with different microphones and whatever. But then what I do is I bring the exported video and my audio and I put it into different editing software. So for example, for me, the most common one that I will use because I'm on a Mac is ScreenFlow. If you're on a PC, we just bashed Windows a little while ago, but if you're on a PC, Camtasia is a software you can use. And this will allow you to bring in your video clip and bring in your voiceover, have them all matched up, you line them up yourself or whatever, and then you can add your sound effects to the timeline. Actually, what I'll do, let me just open up ScreenFlow because you're actually going to see this, right? I think. Let me just see here.
Great.
Work.
And I will mention here, go ahead and do that. That's awesome. I will mention that our next webinar is going to be on how to use Powtoon together with other software. So it's a more advanced kind of thing. But yeah, we'll show these kind of things exactly. Pretty cool.
Okay. So let me just see if I can find one here. Okay, so this is the most recent one I did, but doesn't do that. This is one where I want to talk about emotion. So you can see there. So if you listen to this part here, I'll show you the beginning of this to show you about the emotion. Okay, so notice right there how I zoomed in on him to express his kind of, sadness about how much work he has to do, right? So something like that is a great way to use emotion. So let me just find the one that I wanted to show you that has, all right, okay, so this one here. And
that you could have just done in Powtoon and zoom in. You don't have
to. Yeah, exactly. That's what I did. I did it in Powtoon. That was completely done in Powtoon, actually. The only reason I did I have that here is for the audio. I had a new audio track that I was going to add to that. So that zooming and everything was all done in Powtoon. Basically everything I did was done in Powtoon. Nothing was done here except this kind of thing here. So I'm going to just show you, does this have the audio? Hang on a second here. Just give me 1 second while I add the voiceover back in. Let's make sure it's here. Okay. Oh, I think it is here. Just a minute. Okay, it's not here. Okay, so there's a sound effect, like a whooshing sound effect, and that was added here. It's actually this little thing right here can you actually see this, by the way?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Everyone can see this? Oh, okay. I just wanted to make sure. Oh, okay. Oh, good. I was worried that you couldn't see this. The sound effect is actually here. Now, where I got the sound effects from was on my Mac. There's actually a whoosh sound effect that is in GarageBand, the built-in music creation software. But you can also get these online. If you go to, I don't remember the exact site name, it eludes me now, but if you look for example, sound effects or something like that, or audio sound effects, and you just search for example, I'll type it in here, swish or whoosh, hilarious. Snagit, I'll tell you about that in a second, but yeah, if you use like a swish, if you just search for like swish or whoosh kind of sound effect, you can get these, and some of them are free to use, and some you have to pay for. I believe these ones I got were free to use. So you can then add them in like I did here. Okay, there, and I believe I did here as well. And then there's another part where I added in 3 different sounds together because, right, so this is a kind of like bubble sound was from GarageBand, I believe, and I used it like that, okay? So, that's how you get sound effects and how you use them that way, okay? And how you can incorporate them into your video, so that's what you do. Now, is Snagit helpful? It's cheap and made by the makers of Camtasia. Yes, it can be helpful. I think Snagit has some limitations for what you can do as far as editing the video is concerned, but definitely, if it, the main thing is, if it works for you, then use it. If you feel that it's not really doing the job, then, go with something else. It's really just, the right tool for the job. So whatever works for you. If you find that it has limitations, then yeah, you'll have to try something else. That's where, it's just like anything where once you get either good or proficient at something, you'll find, okay, there are limitations to it. Or if it's not serving the purpose that you want it to serve, then, go with something else. So whatever works for you. If Snagit works for you, then great, go with that as well. Okay.
And I wanted to throw in as well that, there's a difference between, using Powtoon to record your own voiceover and something like Camtasia. The Powtoon voiceover recorder is great. You just record it right there. You're all set. You keep going. You can mix in the sound from a library or your own sound. It's fantastic. But something like Camtasia or any of these professional audio software, they have all of these algorithms in there they've been perfecting for years about how to really get the best voice they can out of your tiny little microphone, and then also edit it. So if you in the voiceover, I think is a very, very powerful for a good Powtoon. So if your voice, we've done Powtoons in house. The voices we used our own voices, came out great. We didn't have to go to any Camtasia or anything else. But I always feel my voice is terrible. I don't like my accent, and I tend to hum and all of that. And so for me to be able to go back in and edit that it feels good, and also the ability to hire voiceover talent many times. I've shied away from using my own voice. So that kind of that you can also just hire somebody there and from Fiverr, Voice Bunny, all these kind of stuff. So there are all of these options, and just sort of explaining what the differences are.
Right, exactly. And I think, like you said, definitely Powtoon lets you do all of this anyway. The one thing there's a question here about the best headphone or microphone for recording. That will also make a difference because the closer you are to the microphone, the better. Now, if you're just using your PC microphone that you have already or your laptop microphone, you can make that work. What you would do is just make sure you get close enough to it without speaking directly into it, sort of speak at an angle to it. Because if you speak directly into it, you'll get a lot of sounds like this. Let me just see if I can make it happen here with my microphone. Hang on a second here. If you speak directly into it, you'll get sort of once you get to P sounds or S sounds, those kind of sound distracting, okay? So, yeah, you can record with your iPhone as well. Yeah, what you can do, so the technique that you can use is, let me just put my mic back on here, 1 second. The technique you can use is if you don't have any sort of microphone, you have your PC, microphone, or you have your laptop microphone, or your iPhone, for example, is to have the script in your hand or on your computer screen, ideally in your hand. With a computer, especially a laptop, it's more difficult because occasionally the fan noise will basically ruin your recording. So be aware of that. But if you're using, for example, your iPhone, one great technique is to actually place your iPhone on your table or desk or whatever and put it on top of, say, a towel to absorb some sound from underneath. And start your recording program, and then take a blanket, somewhat medium to heavyweight blanket. You might have to suffer a little bit, but place it over your head and cover yourself. So you're creating this kind of soundproof environment to record in. And believe me, there were times when, I won't tell you who I did this for, but there are some client work that actually did that as well, okay? I've done that kind of thing as well, where you can do that. The other place that you can get, if you're using your iPhone or you want to get a microphone or for your computer, this is kind of a little self-promotion here for me, but if you're in the U.S., you can go to eduteach.net, and the site isn't live online yet, we're just finishing it up, but this is a place where you can get microphones that I use actually personally. Right now, you're actually listening to me using my microphone, my EduTeach microphone, which is connected to my computer, so you can definitely use that as well, okay?
So Carl, did you say you're affiliated with that site, or what's the story here? It sounds interesting.
Oh, yeah, because this site, actually, I made a video review of their product. It's a Korean company, actually, and I was looking for a microphone to help me with making my videos for my YouTube channel, and with my iPhone. And it took me a long time to kind of search and find something, and I found these guys here in Korea. And so I tried the microphone. It was fantastic. And so I made a video review of it, and I think that video has 50,000 or almost 50,000 views on it, something like that. I haven't checked in a while. But it was so popular. People were asking me all the time, where do I get these microphones from? And I said, well, do you live in Korea? No, well, I'm sorry, I don't know where you get them from, right? And so I just contacted the company. I said, I don't know if you know me, but, I love your microphone and whatever. And so, I'd love to, help you promote your product or something. And so I started working with them. They hired me to kind of work with them. And so I helped them make their website and do different things. And I made a video for them, which was not made by Powtoon, but the video that I made for them, their promotional video, I could make that now in Powtoon completely. That was, before I knew about Powtoon, so I couldn't use it. But the video I made for them was made using different software, but I could have done it entirely in Powtoon. But definitely these microphones, they work. They have microphones for your Android or your Apple device. They also have PC microphones as well that you can use. And I use them for pretty much all of my videos. Like when you watch my videos, my YouTube videos, where I'm talking, where you see me, I'm using their microphones, and they're all plugged into either my phone, my iPhone, or plugged into my Zoom H1 digital audio recorder. So they work amazing, and for the price of it, they're just fantastic. So definitely, if you're in the United States, check it out, eduteach.net. If you're in Europe as well, Eduteach has a site as well where you can buy from. In the States, they're offering, I think, free shipping. So, have a look at it and see. Well, maybe we'll sell a bunch of microphones. Who knows? Anyway, the question here I have is, editing your HD Powtoon in ScreenFlow or Camtasia, does it affect the quality of the video? No, it does not. What you want to do, though, is when you export your video, you want to set the bit rate. There's something called a bit rate, and you want to set that at 5,000 up to 10,000. I find that for the ScreenFlow for the Powtoon videos, that if I set the bit rate at 5,000, I actually should show you that on ScreenFlow here so you can see what I'm talking about. When I click on export, there's something here that says the audio quality, the video quality. So typically it says here 1,200 kilobits per second. What I do is I'll customize that. Oops, I'll customize that. Where's the custom part here? Oh, right here, customize. I will customize this data rate here. I'll leave everything else the same, but here I'll change this to 5,000. 10,000 is kind of overkill, but I'll change that to 5,000, and that'll ensure that the video quality is very good. Even if you left it default, it'll be fine because I've, basically never had a problem with the Powtoon video quality. It's always been great for the 1080p as well. So I would say if you're going to use ScreenFlow for that, then, leave the default or change it to 5,000. But, most of the time when I use, like I said, Powtoon, it's great. Actually, it's not just fine, it's great. So, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and in fact, we are working on getting bit rates even higher. If you are going for TV quality, and a bunch of people have actually made ads for TV with Powtoon. We've even seen Powtoon in a giant screen in twice, once in China,
wow.
once in England. Yeah, a guy proposed to his wife. They were walking in the street, and then all of a sudden she was walking out with her friends down the street. All of a sudden her friends to point her looking up. And you see this enormous screen. It was like, 20 stories high. You couldn't believe this.
Wow.
And there's this enormous cartoon playing. And it was this unbelievable thing. And he's like,
wow.
a whole cartoon about why he loves her and all that. And then he walks out, and it was playing with audio in the square. So there was that, and there was like a big event too. And, those kind of things, you need a high bit rate and everything. So if that doesn't meet your standard right now, just email support. We will take care of that for you manually in house, and that's not a problem until we get
that's
this.
very good.
Yeah. We take care of this stuff.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's a great service to offer, actually. If you'll do that, that's great. So anyone who's going to show the video on something that big, or even if it's not that big, like you said on TV, if you want that kind of quality or something like that, then yeah, definitely do that. Or if not, in the meantime, you can try the other ones. But definitely from the original file that is made with Powtoon, if that can be exported, natively within Powtoon as a high bit rate file, then that is probably the best option, because once you do get it into other software and you kind of play around with it, you there's a chance you could, degrade the quality a little bit. So there, okay. Any other questions? I mean, I think I should probably get back to bed or something. I don't know.
Yeah. This is Carl. I have to say, this is incredible. You've been going on for over 2 hours, and we've lost a good chunk of our listeners, but we've got an amazing, some of our viewers have got an amazing level of activity here, and still dozens of viewers after, well over 2 hours, and they're going on. So this is unbelievable. I did want to throw in a couple of stuff and just tell our viewers here, what we're working on. So they know, and I think they'll be interested, especially since the ones that are hanging on seem to be a little more, advanced users. So what the big project we're working on right now is actually a brand new player page. A player page that actually Carl has open right here we put it up way back in the beginning during the alpha period, and we haven't really touched it. And what we're doing now is putting together the state-of-the-art player page that will really put YouTube to shame. What we see a lot of businesses and educators both have an issue with YouTube. The embed, you end up having ads in there. You end up having suggested videos of other people. You end up having, the end of the video suggested videos. There are a bunch of issues if you want to embed it on your website. There are issues with the quality, the look of the player as well. And also a big issue is once you've put it up there on YouTube and you've used the URL, now any kind of change you make, you have to post it as a separate video, as a separate URL. So we're putting together a dedicated player for you, which will be completely clean for paying users. There'll be zero branding in it. They'll be able to use it. All the social features, everything is going to be in there, and any edits you make, etc., you can post right to that URL. So there's going to be a ton that's going to be big. We believe it's going to be really great. Offline player for presentation mode. So that's been a big issue, of course, having the security of playing presentations without internet. That's up and coming. Undo button is on its way, undo redo. I know that's been a long time coming, and it's been a huge project for reasons that you do not care about. Of course, my Powtoons page is getting a big overhaul. We're also working on a ton of content for you guys, tutorials, new styles and props. One of the things we're looking at is really analyzing what props people use and what props people want. So do keep those comments coming in and suggestions, and email me. I read a lot of the emails you get from me, from Daniel G. Are they go out to, obviously, mass emails are automated. We have hundreds of thousands of users at this point, but any email that comes back, I personally read, and so I spend an hour and a half a day just reading your emails, and that keeps us very much in touch with our customers. So please do keep sending me feedback and so on and so forth. And any kind of requests for features and so on. We do most of our development based on your requests. So back to, I want to just also. Somebody here said, I love my tutorial. So we are working on a lot of tutorials and getting those cleaned up, and of course, new ones based on, we've had changes to the interface and new features, etc. So we are working on these. If anybody, by the way, here wants to make tutorials for us, we are looking to source out, because we have a bunch of them we want to make, and we want somebody that is a professional tutorial maker. Carl.
There could be a lot of Carls out there. I don't think I'm the only one.
So we are looking for somebody that specializes in tutorials. We really would love those, and also do some more webinars. So I wanted to thank Carl a lot for this, very long, very engaging webinar. Carl, as you know, does this because he does Powtoons. He makes Powtoons for a living. He's a presentation coach. If you want to make Powtoons yourself, he can help you with that. If you want somebody to make them for you, use one of the people we recommend that makes them. We have 3, and each of them have their own style, very different, and Carl specializes more on presentations or corporate-looking stuff. I think that's correct to say, right, Carl?
Yeah, pretty much. I think that it's it's for me. I think it's the visual storytelling aspect of it and engaging your audience that comes from the presentations side of my personality, my other personality of just finding things that engage people and how to tell a story and do that in a very, very simple way that people understand and will want to take action with. That's kind of my specialty with the videos.
Fantastic. Great. And if any of you there want to become Powtoonists too and participate like Carl does or in other ways, or if you have a special talent you would like to feature like voiceovers or scripting, drawing, animating, we're constantly looking for talent, and we're constantly hiring as well. We're growing very, very fast. Just more Powtoonists out there, and we take it step by step. We had originally we had a marketplace. We just opened it up, and there was an issue with one specific service provider. We took care of that. We helped them out, of course, the people the clients, but we wanted to make sure that moving forward we provide good quality and good people. So we do have a little bit of a process there, and we want to make sure we get, once you're up there on our studio page, you're good to go, and the traffic that you get is quality traffic as well. So we want to keep that way. But we're definitely open to this kind of work, and as you can see, Carl is very much involved with us in many other ways and contributes a tremendous amount too, which we greatly, greatly appreciate, Carl. It's a pleasure.
Oh, thank you for just having me. I mean, for me, the big thing about Powtoon is just the community aspect of it and how much you guys actually listen to what people are saying and kind of have continually improved the service overall, because that's been sort of the most surprising thing for me and also the most impressive thing. I think other people feel that as well. The funny thing is that people think that I work for you. So sometimes people will ask me questions about that, and I'm like, I don't actually work for them, but thank you anyway. So I think that's the whole, it goes back to the community and the just people being sort of friendly with each other and whatever and helping each other out. I think that's a great thing about what you guys are doing, and keep doing it, please.
Fantastic. Okay, great. So last but I think, make sure to like our Facebook page, join our LinkedIn for Professionals group. It's a great group, and there's a bunch of hardcore Powtoonists there that do sort of back and forth advice and so on. It's a very small group. So yeah, go ahead and do those things, and Carl will see you around, and I'm sure.
Thank you.
Again.
Thanks for everybody out there for attending. Appreciate it.